So I've always wanted to do this ever since I got the race car last year. I was curious to what the race car looks like and how it compares to a stock Cobalt. It's late winter, early spring. Just got the car out from 4 or 5 months of storage. So finally starting to have to work on this thing. But I got the car out here next to my street Cobalt and parked them next to each other. And kind of wanted to look and see what they both look like next to each other, because you can tell the race car has a lot of quirky proportions. So there's only one way to find out. Let's go check it out. Well, there they are. Apologize for the wind. It is cold and windy out here early April. And not sure if you can see the hail damage, but it's kind of popping right now on the street car. But here they are, race car, street car. And just quick look here. Let me go up on the trailer here. You can tell that, yeah, they are quite different. Before I shot the video here, I parked them as close as I could next to each other, kind of from A pillar back. And it seems like that might be the one area they're pretty similar. But you can see, I guess first thing you can see really is obviously that nose. The nose of the race car is so much longer and lower. I mean, length and how low it is. The red car, like I've said in the previous videos, it's mostly stock as far as suspension goes. So this is sitting a little, well, it's sitting normal, actually a little high really for these cars. I do want to lower it, but it's not going to get anywhere near where the race car is. So if we come around this side, it really shows the exaggerated proportions. So I kind of have them parked here pretty much A-pillar or A-post, whatever you want to call it, windshield lined up. And as you can see, the race car is 2 feet, I don't know what it is, maybe 2 feet longer. Both a little bit in front of the wheel, excuse me, a little bit behind the wheel. Obviously a lot in front of the wheel. The entire front axle is 6 inches or so further forward in the race car than it is in the street car. You can also see the significant difference in windshields. The race car is slammed down a little bit, much smaller windshield. I think though, like, other than the obviously push down kind of top part of the windshield, I think for the most part the middle section of both cars are pretty similar. If I move back here a little bit more, you can kind of see obviously height, how low the race car is pretty different, but they look pretty similar. And even when you get to the back of the car, now obviously the race car's got a bit of a different bumper than the street car, but yeah, I mean, here's a good shot of dramatically, if we get down, dramatically how much lower the two are, or excuse me, how much lower the race car is. The tiny little tires in the back of it's kind of funny. And the one thing I don't like about the race car is they didn't even put like decals to try to show like the quad lights, that the kind of the signature feature, well, one of the signature features of the Cobalt. So that might be something I do, is put decals on there or something, just to kind of, I mean, you can barely tell, but yeah, it's something. Those are actually factory tail lights on the race car, actually, believe it or not. They're kind of molded in a little bit, but anyway, so yeah, kind of dramatic. Coming over on this side just shows you how much, well, it shows you how high this stock car is. Really need to lower this a little bit, but just really shows the difference of the two. You can see how the trunk on the race car slopes downward for aerodynamics, where the trunk on the street car is obviously pretty flat. I'm gonna guess rear window, probably pretty similar. Side windows, other than they're pinched down a little on the race car, dimensionally they got to be close. That triangle back window is probably pretty close, but yeah, pretty interesting comparison. I'm not gonna pop the cover off the race car. It's a bit of a pain, and probably seen that in previous videos, but obviously there's nothing they compare once you get under the hood, other than the engines are configured to the same direction, and they're both Ecotechs, and transmissions and everything are technically interchangeable. But interior, that's another one that really doesn't compare too much. you're looking at the race car here, and I've shot this before, but that's actually a dash, a fake dash that would be from a Cavalier from like, I don't know, 2000 to 05, or whatever that last generation of the Cavalier is. I'm not even sure. Well, and obviously the rest of it, there's not much going on in there. But, and then compare it to the street car. I think it's probably dirty. But completely different, obviously. I mean, I don't even know if they ever made a race car style dash of the Cobalt, or they were always just sticking Cavalier dashes. I've seen a lot of pictures and some video of race cars back in the mid-late 2000s when they were running these things, and they, at least the ones I saw, they all seem to have Cavalier dashes. So maybe they just made a bunch of them and they never bothered, because you can't really tell when you're racing. So, but anyway, obviously this is kind of a goofy comparison. The race car is a tube chassis silhouette car. Obviously the street car is what it's modeled off of. There's dimensionally, I'm guessing nothing is probably the same between the two. About, like I was saying, the middle sections, maybe the rear seems to be somewhat close. Obviously, like the fender flares on the factory car aren't even attempted on the race car. And even like the fake decals are not really the same dimensionally. They try their best to make it look good from a distance, but yeah, so is what it is. Just a quick little video here of what a race car, a true race car, looks like versus a street car. Now, obviously, you can, well, you used to, the EPA doesn't think so, but you used to be able to, and you still can, take a street car and turn it into a race car. So you could have Cobalt like this that is a drag car, or a circle track car, or a road course car. You can replace body panels. You can do a lot of different things to make it lighter and quicker, obviously, but you're not really in the same you're not really in the same league, or whatever you want to call it, with this race car being a tube chassis car. But you know, the goal is, I don't really exactly even know what the goal is with the red car. Just have fun with it, make it go faster, and who knows what. But the goal with a race car is quick, fast, and there's only a few ways to do that. Lightweight, a lot of power. Power's, to make it manageable, is a little limited. So yeah, there's guys out there making 1800 horsepower out of these engines, but they're so at the extreme that you better be prepared to constantly rebuild and spend a ton of money. So not quite going to go that far yet. But what does a 1,000 horsepower do with 1,500 pounds? What does 1,100 horsepower do? Let's find out. So anyway, quick little video here. Next few coming up are going to be actually working on these things, because the weather's gotten better. It still can snow for the next month or so, but it's, you know, hit or miss for the next few weeks at least. But still kind of cold. But race season is only a few weeks away, at least up here in the mountains, or in Colorado at least. So yeah, some wrenching videos coming up. Both these cars, everything else. You can get the Buick out. Do another run with that, and then swap to the turbo on that one. So a lot of work on that one too. So yeah, a lot to do, a lot coming up. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.